Okay, so very big delay on this. Hoping this is out on the 5th, but probably not. We are talking about the JP GSSR. I briefly went over this right before I pulled. Um, but yeah, I at least want to talk about this, even though the banner opinions for me aren't that much different from NA. However, like the amount of sets of three you have for this versus what you have on NA is widely different. There are so many 1 out of 3s in this GSSR versus the like 1 out of 4s or multiple 1 out of 5s we have this year. So I'm just gonna briefly go over it. This should be even quicker than NA. Because this one, with it being like 1 out of 3, it really is just whatever character you want. They're all put in like a similar role. Uh, Sorry, no, they're not. Shiki is. We'll get into it, but Shiki is not a single target. Um. Uh. Yeah, no, this isn't going by like purpose. It's male or female in classes. Um. So yeah, first one, Umu Okida, Shiki. You are going for completion here. Uh, Nero is a support, and it can also do DPS. Um, Okida is a like single target quick saber that with the recent buff they're a lot better than they used to be. And I think Shikuchi functions a lot better, but I still don't like the way Shikuchi functions in general. It's just like her recent MP makes it better. And then Chiki is able to do farming, but no. Right now, I think their main purpose is like in-skill farming, but they're also able to loop against 3 enemies while doing it. Like Muramasa. Even though she has a one-hit MP, she's able to do 3-3-3 farming like that. Um, then we're gonna come down here. Yeah. So Saber Bukidoji, I like this character a lot design wise, but her first skill ruins it for me because it is like she is supposed to be a crit servant, like partially at least. Uh, um, her only having her attack buff for 3 attacks is just infuriating when Melusin has that for 3 turns. And yes, hers is a 50 battery, Melison's is a 30, but Melison has way more on that skill than just attack. Uh, Okida Alter, the summer version. This one very similar to Charlemagne, but she's much more focused on actual 3-3-3 farming or enemies with removable debuffs. Other than that, they're pretty identical. Just prefer Charlemagne because you can use him in more places than just farming. Trunk Sisters, said this in the last one, good sub DPS. Um, but yeah, not someone you need, but like for multi-core with uh, having an arts DPS able to actually do some support, it is useful. Musashi, red till you're dead, does a lot of damage. Uh, Benny Emma, similar to Trunk Sisters, however, hers is much more like crit focused, like for herself and just battery support, while she's like MP gain. Like she, if you're already able to do it, she's just gonna help you win more. Um, Benny Enma will help you get to the starting line, and then Astolfo is Astolfo. Enough said. Last one for the Sabers, Medusa. Um, her kit is easier to use than this one. That's all I'm gonna say. Like damage wise, she's gotten so many buffs. I'm pretty sure she's just straight out damaging her. Um, uh, Target. Yeah, yeah. Because she got an MP buff. She didn't get like a skill buff. So she's like straight out damaging Medusa when that didn't used to be the case. Even against hitting man, if Okida hits full Shikuchi, she beats her. But my opinion, you're not doing full Shikuchi. You're but you are focused on like a buster crit at the end, which would just completely demolish anything Medusa has. Because just the buster crit on a QAB with Shikuchi, yeah, that's gonna do a lot of damage. Takiru, uh, single no AOE, but their MP effect is single target, so you just target the enemy you want to kill the most, and you really don't need that arts buff on anything lower because you might not actually kill what the big health bar enemy if you do this at the wrong enemy. Unless you're trying to like crit at the end, then that's actually a different story. Because I do kind of want to bring that up because he is on. This is his release banner on NA. If you have the cards, to do like a mighty chain, and you're just like, you want to gen stars for the next turn, or you don't think you're actually going to be able to loop because of what enemy you're fighting. Like say you're fighting. Like all assassins and you're using him for some reason, if you don't think you're gonna get enough refund to loop, target one of the other ones like the weaker health bar, and then you have or you're trying to let another character get their MP, because the arts res down is like 50% if I'm not mistaken, that is an actual mana burst of that is an actual mana burst worth of difference for arts. So just keep that in mind, that there are things you can do with Takeru that you can't do with Muramasa. Even though crit isn't really something they do, you do, like, because of how this works, you do have slightly different options. And then Passion Lip. She actually turns damage into healing, so she can tank some really, really stupid stuff. And then just hit them very, very hard as a buster crit. Alright, Saber's done. On to our archers. And we only have 2 boxes for archers. Squirtoria. She doesn't need much to loop. You don't need much. If you're doing 1-1-1 against Saber, you can just pretty much invest in like full damage, and you're not going to have that much of a problem. Ishtar with her buff is fun to use, because she's a buster crit archer. Yeah, no, she is an AoE buster archer that has reliable crits, and can super reliable crits. Like, she can do buster brave chains like every single turn. So even if whether she's fighting AoE or single target, she kind of can just do both of them now. Jarcher, she hasn't gotten a buff. She loops 100%, but her MP1 is not good damage. It is definite potato damage. She needs Black Girl, especially if she's not on water side. Say Shonagon, she has a bunch of different buffs on her MP, but and now she has a 50 battery, but she's still little unwieldy. Just not super not coherent's not the word. She's still a little bit clunky, but she's better than she used to be because of the battery. Durga is basically Jarcher refund, but much, much, much more damage. Because of especially she has anti-demonic on her MP, so that means that just clearing trash mobs, she's able to do it a little easier, and because she does it easier, or kills them easier, she gets way more hits in overkill. So, like, overkill is her bread and butter, but you could also do, like, some face guard stuff with it, too. You can also use her face guard skill to brute force getting Artoria to be able to pop her MP at the final wave. She turns all her cards into arts, so as long as you have at least one Castoria arts card, you're going to be able to keep charge easier. It especially works if you don't have any of Durga's arts cards, so that means in a later turn you might be able to do it again and get Castoria like a lot closer to extra damage. Because of how small this GSSR, this one specifically is, I do want to like at least bring up like Summer Tiamat is like the only, like, essentially the only support archer that exists. And in the final battle, she saved my ass so much. Like, for that final battle, it's either you're using Castoria for like solemn defense spam, or you're using Tiamat for invul spam. And with Tiamat, you're getting card buffs when you do that, and that final boss is letting you pop her MP a lot. Uh, I don't know about you, but like attack buffs with Castoria, like, and not being able to stack the solemn defense like that, like if you mistime it, you're gonna be shit out of luck. Well, Tiamat does not have that problem. Um, you would have to be okay with Sei and Durga though, if you want to go for her on this one. You have to be okay with getting these two. Otherwise, like, all three of these don't. You would use her to support these two in like grand raid battles, but you don't use all three of them in the same place. At the very least, these two are AoE. But again, if you don't have the Scotty, like, you're probably not. Like, you're probably not gonna want Sei. Unless you like the character, which she's kind of grown on me, like the Genki stuff, but she's still too high energy, and that MP just has too many bright colors for me. Shisho, waifu in a swimsuit, one of the original yanderes, all single target, so they are kind of interchangeable. Tomomo needs an MP buff so goddamn badly. It's very, I hope this year, if they're not gonna like really focus on the main story, they just work on making every character in the game feel good. And she is definitely one of those characters that needs it, because her super effective damage is equal to a buffed MP, and both of these two have buffed MPs. And then Shisho also has her 3 turns of 200% power mod if you set it up right. What the fuck is she gonna do about that? Nothing. Over on this side, we have the AoE busters and technically single target arts, but Melisson in single target arts is a servant with 2 skills. So always remember that, even though if those 2 skills are equal to 3. Aresh, Grand Roma, Melisson, all 3 of them are at this point interchangeable. Aresh is super tanky. Melisson is very easy to do 3-turn farming, while Romulus has the highest damage potential for 3-turn farming, because of the fact that he can make his own niche. And if he's fighting someone that is like super high health, he can crit before the MP and just make it do more damage. He's Buster, so it really doesn't matter. He's not caring about refund on that final turn anyway. But that's only if you want to make the super effective more important. If you have 2 Buster cards, you should just put them at the end. There's no reason to sacrifice better carding position in your Buster Brave Chain for slightly higher super effective damage. Yeah, and Melisson, like I said, it's super, super easy to get her to do 3-turn farming and get really good damage. When Romulus to hit, get the same peaks, they have to be doing the same exact setup, and he just works better for that setup. All right, last one for archers, and then we move on. Britomart, Indra, Missione, and Liz, SSR Liz. She feels better with her buff. I really like the design with the poison spam, but it is a little unwieldy unless you're doing like BB shenanigans. If you can't do BB shenanigans, it is harder to ramp up. Not gonna lie, but I don't know. I still like it. It's mostly if we get more command codes that can put poison on, she's just gonna get better. Indra, just super cool design. Like, this is one of those characters that like I would definitely pull just to. Is Paco's work. It's art, and it's Like the cutout at the end of his MP just feels. He looks like Yu Norakami, like especially in that part of the animation. And Liz, after 8 welfares, I think. I'm not making. I'm not saying it. After more than 6 welfares, probably, she finally got an SSR version, and it does do good damage, like 90% battery easily getting like stupid high battery amounts. In terms of single target farming, like if you're doing 1-1-1 archer, like you can do black rail and have 0 fucking problems. Like in fact, like you would put Oberon in front because she's just like at 90, so his little battery would just get you over the edge, and then you be popping bitches turn 2. All right, done with Lancers. On to Riders. Oof. Yeah, no, this is I'm gonna have to pick up this pace. Maid Alter, Reigns, Da Vinci Rider, Bakken, and Andromeda. And they just shoved all of them in one banner. I just would not recommend summoning on this because it's just too different. You have 3 AoEs, a support, and a single target quick. One that does need another buff and just a little more direction to go with her kit. If you're going for Reigns, you're probably not going to be happy with these 3. I do like Andromeda. She's fun for Grand Raids because she basically takes no damage and just ramps up her crit like that. Bakken does sub DPS stuff, and Davinci is for stall and just spamming arts MPs. If you really want to go for this, go for it. But this is the worst rates for whichever one you're actually looking for. Casters, this is just DPS. I would say you're going for what character you like the best. Yeah, I already made the joke. I already made it last video. We don't have to go on why people would pick on that banner. This one is way more high priority. Scotty, Miss Crane, Castoria, Murasaki. I think this was very similar to what was on NA. And it really is like 3 supports and 1 AoE. I don't have this AoE, so it's either I would go for her on a separate banner or I would keep trying to pull her on this. But I'm getting to the point where I probably will just summon for Murasaki by herself and just try snipe. But if you don't have any Scotty, I would definitely at least get Scotty here. Just you're able to actually do quick farming because you need at least 1 Scotty. You do need at least 1. The Miss Crane, again, unless they change how MPs work after you kill all the enemies, she's still always just going to be worse from other plug suit out characters like Liz at the end and Summer Chloe. Castoria is Castoria, enough said. And again, Murasaki, she's just a character I don't have, so I can't have that much of an opinion on her. Yeah, I do want this character, but this line is, again, a mixed bag of characters. You have to be okay with getting all of them. Otherwise, I just wouldn't recommend summoning for it. Alice and Ono no Komachi are in the same role. However, they're both very different. Alice has some really, really stupid survivability shit that I just have to put her higher than Ono no Komachi. Yeah, like a 2 basic dodge every 2 turns, and then basically complete. What was it? It's like full debuff immunity. If you have it on, yes. If you have the substitution, you cannot get debuffed. That is so stupid for a Bonsi. That is so ridiculously stupid. Every 2 and it's not even every 2 turns. If she doesn't get okay, wait, yeah, hold up. It's not even every 2 turns she has debuff immunity. It's as long as she doesn't get hit, she has debuff immunity every 2 turns. She theoretically has debuff immunity for 26 fucking turns as long as you don't get rid of this. I Oh, yeah, and not counted as a buff either. Isn't that something? Isn't that fucking something? I like, but going back to other characters, Tonalico is Tonalico. I really like her, but I wouldn't be trying to go for her on this banner. So yeah, if you're looking for quick, this one's good, but if you're looking just for Tonalico, look for her another time. All right, halfway done with the females. This I would probably avoid this unless you're going for a specific character. X does good damage after all her buffs, but these two need another buff. Cleo is kind of in a good spot right now, but she's probably not going to say no to another buff. This one is the one people actually would summon on if they want an assassin. Kama, Vich, Kawakami, Gensai, and Hyunjo Koenshaku. They are phenomenal in their slot. She is all offense. Invul Pierce on an AoE quick crit servant. Vich, and then Kama. If you want a good assassin, you're going to pick on here. You're not going to go here. Especially because Vich can be the AoE buster farmer. You don't need these two. Vich can do it herself. You just need another support that can give her a battery.
I am now doing monthly $5 giveaways as a way to give back to my channel. I recently hit 500 subs and I want to keep giving back to the people that support me. All you have to do is comment on one of my videos during the month. Doesn't even have to be a video I make that month, and you are entered to win. 5 people can win every month with 1 win per person per month. Only 1 comment is counted as an entry every month. I will send you the prize in a way that works for both of us. Thank you for watching. Now let's get back to the video.
Berserkers. You're gonna pick this one. If you're going for a Berserkers, you're gonna pick this one. I'm sorry, this one is just way too much fire. Arts and quick, 2 single target, and 2 AoE. Yeah. Here is if you want Buster. MHX is kind of worth it on here just because she smacks around sabers so well. Same with Musashi. Both of these two smack around sabers, even though they're berserkers. And these two just kill everything. They kill everything dead with Big Booba. Alright. Now moving on to extra class. Probably not, unless you're going for Summer BB. Like, all these are 1 out of 3s, so, like, I didn't really go over it a lot here, because a lot of these were 1 out of 4s, so your odds aren't great, but the banner usually has to make up for it by having other good servants. These are probably, like, you're going for 1 servant, so you're just thinking 1 out of 3, and which one you actually want. These 3 are pretty incompatible. BB Summer, like, and I don't mean that like you can't use BB Summer with these two. I mean, like, if you're going for one of them, you're like, if you're looking for an AoE buster, like, you're not gonna get it with either of these two. Like, they all 3 have very different roles, and yeah, like, she has 2 different roles that vary so drastically. Like, because your odds are good, I wouldn't fault you for pulling on this one. This one, all 3 are AoE, and all 3 can be AoE buster. Spacious Shard just needs a buff. she's needed a buff for a while. Nobu, I just got her MP3. I still like her, but you do need to have the setup for it. And then Ruler Artoria, sub DPS, card shenanigans, buffing. This one not high priority, but like good value from it, at least decent value. Here, I like both of these two a lot. I really do like both these characters' gameplay. Himiko kind of just doesn't fit. Like like this is the rainbow banner, Buster Quick arts. I would be happy with any of these three, but me personally like Tyra. Tyra is the prize here. Here, if you have Black Rail or Ongar Mainu, she gets better. If you don't, like, you just have to put another Avenger. But like specifically those two things just make her a significantly better character. Kama, I think she needs a buff because she's just a little unwieldy. There's been a lot of charm support though to make her better, but she still could probably use a buff to make more consistent charms. And then we have Arc. Arc is Arc. You'd probably want higher copies than one of her, though. Not probably. And the same goes for Tonalico. You would want more than one copy. So if you're only getting the MP1, it's just not as good. All right. Ruler Scotty. If you don't have her, you're just gonna go for this banner. And you're probably just gonna be happy if you get these two. Like, you're gonna want Ruler Scotty, but it's not like it's the end of the world if you get these two. This is support, and then this one is Summer Mellison. And they are good. All right, so I'm actually gonna take a break after I finish the female and just play on JP, and then we'll come back and do the guys, and that will be like real quick before we go to Honkai. CL Senpai's here. CL is awesome. I love the gameplay with CL. Having a CL and then having BB together, like, it makes your life so much easier for farming, and you can just do fun shit if the node allows you to. You do kind of have to worry, like, you're not able to buffer nearly as much. But I don't think it's that much of a problem, honestly. And you can do other ways to set it up. Like, and I'm talking the BB stuff. If you plan to swap CL out, there are definite ways now that you can, especially lock BB to just do things a little better. But because of how her card lock skill works, the second she's out on the field, you cannot do Summer Kuro or Liz at the end. It will fuck everything up if you do any kind of team swap once BB's in. Like, when she locks the cards, she's locking the cards. No one's supposed to be dying either. Young Raiko. I honestly haven't used her that much lately, but that's more on me than her. I like the design, but I obviously, like, I'm not the biggest fan of her MP. I'll be honest, like, that version. Like, I really do like Raiko when she's like decked out like this. This to me looks like just really cool. But yeah, like, I'm not the biggest fan of her going full Oni. But yeah, she carries very big swords. Last one for extra one. BB Dubai, Metatron, and Summer Shiki. So you would only be going for BB Dubai if you do have other moon cancers or a lot of living humans. Considering that there is a CE to boost living humans, it is something you should be looking at if you're trying to bond farm other characters that BB Dubai, like, if you're already using a living human, why not use this character too? Yeah, and Shiki can swap between single target and AoE, so you have jack of all trades for arts. Metatron, probably not farming, but definitely more CQs, sustain stuff. Similar to Amakusa, just better. Better in terms of keeping your team alive and like light Merlin stuff. All right, this banner is fire. All three of these characters have been buffed to high fucking hell. All three of them are in a really good spot. If you pick on this banner, you're really not going to be disappointed. Especially Kiara with her animation update. I fucking love that animation update. This banner, Hokusai, Okida, King Protea, definitely not nearly as impactful as this one. These two have gotten multiple buffs, and so like they have gotten multiple buffs too. But we got to be completely honest; these three buffs were far better. Or sorry, these three characters' buffs were so much better. This one has Van Gogh. If you have foreigners, you are almost obliged to pick this one if you don't have Van Gogh because this is a 1 in 3. Are you going to be disappointed if you don't get Van Gogh? Yes, but a 1 in 3 Van Gogh is something that if you have high invested foreigners and you don't have your own Van Gogh, it's you're gonna unlock easy mode. You're gonna fucking unlock easy mode once you get can run Devil Van Gogh and another foreigner. Domin, Jacques de Molay, Koyan. If you don't have Domin, it's kind of the same thing. We don't need it now anymore on JP, just by how things evolved. But for the treasure nodes, where you can do in-skill farming, Domin, or no, sorry, not just treasure nodes, but if you're able to do in-skill farming, Domin is just like one of the best people to bring for that. My JP MP5, but MP1, I don't think you're probably gonna be one to go for her. Koyan really at MP1 has more value than Jacques de Molay, in my opinion, just because she's also support. Her support is so niche, it's not even funny, and it's also to enable him. Her turn your allies to evil is to enable his shit. And she doesn't even get the full benefits of him, while she actually does. So it really, yeah. Like I like all three of them, but I don't know if I would pick this one over one of the other ones. If it was Domin and Van Gogh, oh my fucking god, oh my god, GG's, G fucking G's, like that would have been instant. Bang for your buck banner, because again he also buffs her. Van Gogh is chaotic evil, so double Van Gogh with a Domin, it just gets their ramp up a lot faster. They hit like the crit cap significantly faster than them just both Van Goghs just popping MPs back to back like that. Bizet is Bizet. There still isn't a character that can do what she does besides Galahad, and we do not have Galahad summoned now, do we? Excuse me. Super Bunyan, Lady Avalon. Both of these two, not that bad, but just nowhere near as impactful as Bizet. You'll be happy if you get a Lady Avalon from here, but probably not Bunyan. Worst one in here is Wangina. 1, 2, 3 are fire. And Aoko has protagonist buff on her too. Tiamat is Tiamat, and then Cuckoo is Cuckoo. And last one for the no, we'll I'm not gonna take a break. We're just gonna go through because not nearly as many men. Hibiki and Chikagi, Kazura drop, Phantom Moon, and Typhon Ephemeros. This is a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon you get to use for farming. Enough said. Kazura drop is another. She is like an actual quick support now. Like I see her more as a support than a like DPS. But you would still want the Scotties before you want Kazura drop, because Kazura drop is debuff focused, while Scotties are like buff focused. So if the enemy is able to resist Kazura drop putting debuffs on, her value goes down so immensely. Like you just pick another character. Like I'm not joking about this. You cannot use her against anyone that actually has full debuff immunity. Like, and that's probably, but that's any debuffer. But for Kazura drop specifically, quick res down, card res down when you crit, and a massive amount of defense down. Losing out on all three of those things it bricks the character easily. I haven't gotten to use Hibiki and Chikagi enough, so I do know she has sub DPS talents, and then Phantom Moon is also a sub DPS. But the thing is, for the longest time, there was not a single target pretender. Phantom Moon was that single target pretender, and she did her job so goddamn well. Like, you look at the King Protean Stormpod node, if you don't have Kama, you have to use a Berserker and hope that you don't get one shot because you didn't kill fast enough. That is not a problem with Phantom Moon. Phantom Moon just kills them dead. Alright, so, for the guys, this is going to be, like, pretty quick, because I do kind of want to get to playing JP and then move on to Honkai and Nikkei. So, this one... Oh... Sigurd is here, so it immediately loses value for me. I hate this character with a passion. I would be pissed if I wasted my money and got, like, trying to get Muramasa or Arthur and I got Sigurd. If you like Sigurd, that's fine. But for gameplay-wise, he is so dog shit that he gets beat out by a 4-star. Like, for the love of God, he needs 2 buffs almost immediately. I'm literally talking about how they buffed Ozymandias. He needs that level of, like, rapid buffing. And then Astolfo is Astolfo, but where do you even begin with Astolfo? Honestly, where do you even begin to, like, buff him? Because his kid is still wonky. But yeah, no, I know how popular Astolfo is, so just know if you're going for Astolfo, you have to be okay with getting Sigurd, and I'm not sure people are okay with that. Oof, this banner, all AoE heat, Charlemagne, Takeru, Richard, and Kondo. If you get any of these 4, you're not going to be disappointed. All of them fit the same exact role. Sirens outside my apartment door. Or not outside my door, outside the window. Yeah, already talked about Takeru. Charlemagne, I already talked about him in reference. Richard is like Lord Logris, but super heavy crit focused. Like, his buster crit's just disgusting. Disgusting potential. And then Kondo's MP. Like, Kondo, like, is like turn your brain off AoE Art Saber. Like, you kind of have to turn your brain on with these two. You just turn it off and enjoy the MP, seeing the Shinsengumi. You're going for either... No, this honestly is Husbando banner. And I say that because of Moriarty's costume. because this is like he's by Raida, and there are girls that simp for old men. They exist, and guys, but I'm not gonna lie, that is one of the best costumes out there. For how much it changes the feel of this character. Honestly looks at least okay. Yeah, hold up. Here he looks in his like 70s. Here he looks like he's like 55. And then you have Giga Chad Orion that has muscles on top of muscles and top of muscles, and Gilgamesh. Enough said. This one probably is going to be a skip for a lot of people. King Tut, self-sacrifice but single target. Unlike a Rash, but you can also be able to do it back to back if you need to. You just kind of have that freedom, and the fact that he's able to go 0 to 100 by himself. Like as long as he has the damage, he's going to be able to do the farm. And Takasugi, I don't think he's bad, but I think he needs a buff to stand out because he's like his damage is just middle of the pack, which. That's not bad, but like it's middle of the pack, like in year like 8, like 7 or 8, like middle of the pack. Is good, but it could be a lot better. All right, we already talked about these two, but Ryoma a lot better after his buff. His damage potential honestly was high for a while. It's just that refund was an issue, and then he wasn't able to do cost efficient teams. But nowadays, like we have Bond CEs, and you're actually able to do like high party cost parties. Like, I believe now the limit is 118 when you hit level 200, but people aren't going to be hitting level 200 anytime soon. So, yeah, if you were looking for one of these two, this is the better banner to do than up here. Oh, no, hold up. Sorry. If you are looking for both of them, this is the banner. More specifically, Indra. If you are looking for Indra, this is the better banner for you to go on. If you're looking for Romulus, I can't say that same thing because of the fact that if you get one of these three, it's not that different. Constantine is the prize here, but it's a 1 out of 5. 3 AoE Buster Riders. If that's what you're looking for, yeah, go for it. And then we also have Noah here. This is the banner I chose on JP. And I saw this and I'm like, yep, immediately. And I got Gramps. Merlin, Gramps, Tez, you cannot go wrong with this one. Especially if you are having like a lot of problems with Grand Assassin, and I mean like a lot of problems with that node, because that is 100% the hardest of the grand trainings to do. If you don't have a really good assassin for it, otherwise you're stuck using gimmick assassins out of lower rarity. And not able to clear it faster. King Asan, they just do the farming a lot easier because of the guts. It's because of that guts, and because he insta-kills as much as he does not nearly have the problems that I have with Kami Gensai doing that node or even using Vitch. Tez. MP2 Tez versus 1 is a difference. You are able to just do your farming a lot easier, especially non-riders. You're able to just get a lot more hits of overkill in and help his refund out. But because he has his own big battery, it's not as much of an issue, and you can just plan for popping Castoria more and just get way more MP damage ramped up. He's just a character where your supports are going to be popping their MPs. Like, unlike Valks, he's just going to have more damage available to him. And again, you could still use Black Row with him, and it doesn't change a damn thing. Oof. If you're only going for Tuna, good luck. Honestly, good luck, because this is not good odds. You have to be okay again with getting Kintoki and Hijikata. If you're not, you're going to be molting because these two are nowhere close to him. Well, in Hijikata, if you know how to use him. But, like, these two are just super easy to use, and then he is, like, you need to be playing a certain way. Alright, almost done. Holmes, for setups, he makes your life a lot easier, and you can use Black Row way, way more than you could otherwise because of the Invul Pierce plus Defense Pierce. Amakusa has kind of fallen off. I especially don't use him on NA, but I haven't. He hasn't gotten buffed in a while, and Dante's is still a solid farmer. Gear, I already talked about these two. Moriarty is doing better with his buff. He now has like the MP damage ramp up, which really helps out his damage. This version of Dante's Count of Monte Cristo, still like really good single target capabilities, being able to stun lock people. And his stun is ridiculously high chance. It is basically you need debuff immunity, unlike Kama that can easily get fucked by debuff immunity. Yeah, like 500% chance to stun. If they are not immune to stun, he's like, they're not fighting back. That's both a good and a bad thing, because that also means the enemy can't hit you, and because he's an Avenger, he gets way more when he gets hit. So just keep that in mind. Again, I probably wouldn't recommend this one. I do think, though, this is probably better than trying to go here for them, because the characters here just kind of fit better. Not so much for him, but like especially Tyra with Count of Monte Cristo. Both of them are single target Avengers, quick Avengers. So like that turns it into a 50% if you're looking for that role specifically. Final one, Oberon and Domin both together on this banner elevates it to no matter what a 40% chance you get some a good support, like a end game level support. Voyager, good boy, but he's not someone I'm bringing out for like high difficulty content. But I don't know, we're probably gonna be using him a lot more in the next 2 years. A lot of my other characters are gonna be using them a lot. And I've already talked. Kirei, this is the only banner he's on. Unfortunate, but he is fun to use. And then Wangina is Wangina. So yeah, just gonna bring up which ones I chose. This was on the alt. And this was on the alt. And then on main, it was this one and this one. And yeah. So that is talk about the GSSR. Sorry this is coming out this late. It is what it is. I just have a lot of stuff to get done. I'm going on vacation on the 7th, and I'm like literally my train is 40 minutes after when I'm done at work that day. So pretty much I have to have that Uber like outside the building and just ready to go. That works. Um, yeah, and then after that, I also have to focus way more on packing up my apartment. Um, so, I'll see you guys later. Peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.